Greetings! This is Top Tier Tips. Greetings everyone, Force Nature here of Top Tier Tips, back with another guide. Featuring another, you guessed it, another character from the Virtua Fighter series. This time we're taking a look at Sarah Bryant. What is there to say about her? Well, she got captured by some company called Judgment 6. She got all brainwashed and really pissed off her older brother, and eventually J6 ended up having forcing them to have to end up fighting each other, and then Sarah had to kick her brother's ass, and like, yeah, that's kind of how the story goes, right? Yeah. Anyways, from a gameplay standpoint, Sarah's gameplay is essentially based around getting in your opponent's face and just dominating them with her really fast pokes and her basically her different kind of frame advantage type attacks. I'll just get out of the way right now. Just let you know that she has a 10 frame jab, an 11 frame elbow that's really is incredibly abusive, and like most Virtua Fighter characters, she has a 12 frame 2 feet. She technically even has a faster high attack, a 9 frame jab, like her 4-4 right there. It puts her into her back turn stance, but still, I mean, so she technically possesses a 9 frame attack. So yeah, her speed is really good, and in general, she's also like most of the other VF characters. A lot of her attacks is pretty safe, but the main thing you want to do with her is just trying to find ways to get into her, primarily her Flamingo Stance, like this one right here. And from here, she does have attacks at hand that can end up giving her frame advantage. It can end up giving her frame advantage and ways to just keep pressuring the opponent. She also does have like some dangerous attacks from this stance that can lead to I mean, during the stun game, can lead to like a feint stun allowing for like guaranteed follow-up. So I'll show you some of those later, but just let you know that this stance is really important for Sarah, and it's a big part of her abusive pressure. And anyways, as just like I kind of recommend with almost like any character, I'll just let you know, like with Sarah, I do highly recommend, well, both going over her command training and her combo challenge. And honestly, I probably would even recommend going over her command training probably like numerous times. I'll just let you know that she has a shit ton of moves, and it's just there's a lot of different techniques you have to. There's just a lot of different techniques you have to know with her. And the main thing I kind of just recommend from the combo challenge is just to get a little idea of how her kind of her combo flow is. Like similar to like Pi, she can be she can be pretty tricky with her combos. Even though in terms of stance-based gameplay, I actually think Sarah might be a little more complex than Pi. Although Pi is difficult for other reasons, but anyways, yeah, let's just take a small look at her command training. But before we go on, I just want to give a slight heads up that if I end up saying anything in this guide that you're either unfamiliar with or makes you go, then just feel free to look at my other guides to see if you can find any answers to your queries. Anyways, let's go. Alright, here we are in Sarah's command training. As you can see near the top left area, she has approximately 123 moves, which is above average. But the main thing about Sarah though is that she just has a lot of kind of moves and tools to work with, and that is mainly derived from just like the numerous kind of stances she has. Like I already showed you the Flamingo Stance first. Other ones she has is like she has like a forward slide, she has a back slide, and she has like a slide shuffle right there. So that's right there is some of the stances do, and also that she has some just frame moves to worry about. Like I can show you. Let's see if I can show you some right now. This right here is an example. So right there, yeah, the timing for some of the just frames can seem a little on point, but it's mainly about hitting it right, hitting the just frame like right as like the key kick, or one in the last, or the kick that leads into the just frame. Like I will let you know that pretty much all of her just frames are either kicks or part of like a hit throw. But I can show you another like key just frame move with her right now. I will let you know right now that for these techniques right here, if you see a forward hold down crouch dash forward, then a dot, then you see an attack after this. These stand for while rising techniques. These two end up looking like similar. The difference is that with this one, you have to delay the second kick a little bit. So what happens is she pops up and does a knee, then she comes down, and then you have to do like another knee. Like I can show you it a little bit after this. Yes, this one right here, I think. Basically, it's a triple kick combo, and you see the two dots end up representing just frame. For this one right here, like that, you have to end up doing it. You have to. The timing for it is weird, is that it's a slightly slower than you might expect, especially for the first kick. Like if you do it too fast, it doesn't really work too well. Like you delay it slightly like that, then you are able to. If you delay it like slightly, then you are able to get that. I will let you know that after the first kick connects, if you do get the just frame, then the next two kicks will be guaranteed. And as you saw right there, you can use. You can end up using something like Flamingo 1KK, then Flamingo 6KK is like a little juggle after. So yeah, if you can get that down, then it can be a useful tool during her Flamingo pressure, because it comes from a jab and a low kick, so the opponent can't react to that at all. Although it does, the high jab and a low kick. So yeah, I mean, if they're like low block, if they're crouching, then they will avoid it. And I will let you know that a lot of Sarah's frame advantage or pressure moves are off of highs, which is apparently for any sort of character that's similar or related in some way to Taekwondo, their pressure usually comes from high attacks. And Sarah's not as and despite having a bunch of frame advantage highs, Sarah's not really guard break based. So similar to Rick, you could definitely throw off someone that doesn't really know her frames, because there's no like obvious. There's no like obvious frame advantage moves with her. You just have to kind of know if it's frame advantage or not. But usually, her frame advantage just comes from like moves like leading into like Flamingo. I'll just let you know that right now with regards to Flamingo, my kind of recommended moves for going into it. The first one would probably be like her 4K, really like that one. If you want a parry attack, her P+K right here, it's a really good move. It both can parry mids, and it's since it's a jumping move, it can low crush also. So yeah, so P+K is also good. There's also like even something like 3PK there, which can actually kind of just continue on in itself. So yeah, there's like numerous ways to go into like Flamingo. Those are just like a few options right there. And I'll just tell you a couple moves now if you just want to kind of cheese people a little bit. Yeah, for people that are, I guess for people that, I don't know, that don't really know that PPP forward slide's all jabs, and yeah, you can almost kind of cheese people with that. You can also enter forward slide off of stuff like 6PP, so there's, even though 6PP is mid-high, but yeah, there's a bunch of like cheesy stuff you can do with Sarah. Even this one here, like Flamingo KK2KK, but anyways, enough with the gimmicks. I'll just show also another couple notable things also from the move list. Let me just show the hit throws now, because I know she has like a couple. Let me see where it is. Alright, as you can see right here, there's a couple from Flamingo Stance. This one will be the more common one. As you can see, this one I feel is a bit easier to hit than some of her other ones. Like she has one out of forward slide, which is, I find to be a bit harder to connect because the timing's a bit slower than you may expect. But I find the one from here is easy to remember. when you see the kick, you see a little combo throw right there. With that, that's exactly when you're supposed to get it. And it's nice as it's basically a throw off of a low. So I mean, it's really hard to react to. So it's just I mean, along with like this also. So along with their kind of her Flamingo P2 KKK just frame string, I mean, there's a bunch of stuff for the opponent to worry about in close. All right, let's say that the opponent is only expecting you to do highs or lows out of Flamingo Stance, or they're only focused on highs or lows. Because yes, Sarah's highs and lows out of Flamingo Stance are very dangerous, including having a throw off a low. So what are you to do? That's why she has 3K. With just Flamingo 3K, as you see right there, as a crumple stun, you can go for a launch if you want, or if you end up entering Flamingo Stance off of something like 8K, then you can get a feint stun off it and just go for a guaranteed launch. You can get like a small like combo or something like that off there. So yeah, so right here, if the opponent's expecting you to just go for highs or just go for lows or whatever, then just nail them with 3K. Because generally, when you are in Flamingo Stance, the main thing that the opponents will be watching out for is either highs or like low attacks or anything like that. Even though our highs can be really fast, so 3K is your go-to. Alright, before I go on to Sarah's neutral game, I just want to show you a pretty badass throw that she has. It comes out of her step-in stance, which comes out of her Flamingo stance. So first you go into Flamingo, then press 1 P+K, then you'll go into her step-in stance. So during that little breakdance thing she does, you have to input a half circle forward T, so it should look like this. That throw is pretty damn amazing, isn't it? Alright, so I'll just right here you can see in this roll the move list. There's actually an interesting thing also with regards to that throw, and she also has another throw out of it too, just a standard T. As you can see right there before the thing left, I'll just show you again. You can see that it says OH next to the throw, so right here. So for the 2, that means that both of these throws are offensive holds. So that means they catch opponent strikes. So yeah, I mean, so just to let you know, Sarah's a striking character that has catch throws or offensive holds. So that is pretty damn awesome. So yeah. Anyways, moving along. Oh, before I continue on, just want to take a bit of a pit stop over at the combo challenge like I mentioned earlier. Alright, I will let you know that, quite frankly, Sarah's combo challenge could be hell at times. I mean, it basically just gets you used to, early on it gets you used to using her different specialty throws or hit throws or whatever. But I'm just going to be focusing on just a few right now. Like, a lot of them actually can be a pain in the ass, but I'll just want to take note of, well, this one here, which is the last of the difficulty 4 juggles. I'll let you know with this, let's just go to it right now. Alright, this combo challenge for Sarah is kind of weird because with the VF characters, their down attack is usually 3K, or Sarah's at least is 3K. So what it does is it really makes this combo challenge stupidly harder than it really should be. What are you supposed to do is after the 3 H+KK, you're supposed to dash and kate in 3KK. Kind of like that, even though the K didn't connect it. Here, kind of like that, for instance. All right, this combo challenge here can be basically just a massive pain in the ass. I mean, like, it starts out okay with like the 8P, then 6 H+K, 6 H+K, but this little string right here, which is a nice cancel into Flamingo where it's usually this move. Instead you get that. Like, basically it generally doesn't work unless you end up doing like a little like micro dash. But getting in that dash getting that dash and input in that that 3-3 H+K K 8th string is a massive pain in the ass. So I mean it's gonna be hell for you to get, but generally this is how it looks when it's completed properly. And another combo challenge that will end up throwing you for a massive loop is their power launcher combo. Alright, the thing with this combo challenge right here is that the second attack says that you're to have your back to your foe after you do the launcher. But the only really quick way to enter into back turn would be something like 4-4-P. But if you try that, let me try. That attack right there, you see, has no chance of connecting. So there's a weird thing you actually have to do with this combo is you have to... just gonna get this. Is you have to do it like that. But you see the follow-ups after that need to be inputted like incredibly quickly. I mean, like, similar to like with the pie combo challenge, you need to blaze through them as quickly as you can humanly can. I mean, this is how it would basically look like. Alright, yeah, Sarah's combo challenge can go to hell, but good luck with that. Anyway, with regards to Sarah's neutral game, as you can probably guess, what I want you to do with Sarah is get in your opponent's face and push buttons. So yes, this is where you want to be with Sarah. At a range where your usual obnoxious pokes can work. What you don't want to be doing with Sarah is playing keep away, because if you're doing that, you might as well play a character like Ayn or Hitomi or even Ayane or something like that. But with Sarah, with regards to her neutral game, that is one of her weaknesses. Range is not really her friend. Like, if you want a bit of a range poke, you can try something like... You could try something like 6666K there, but on block, for instance. You see, it leaves her at -8, which is technically 7-frame throw punishable. So even if if you do it at tip range 2, yeah, it's still -8. Even though from here, I mean, it's a little harder for the opponent to throw you, but under most circumstances, you are partially open to throw punishment. But that is still one of her better options for getting in on the opponents. Sadly. If you want a bit of a mix-up, you can try and sneak in like a 2 H+K here, and you get +9 frame advantage, which is pretty good. But of course, as you can see, it's also unsafe on block, but it is an instant high crush, so you can mix it up. You can also use like 4K, which, as you see right there, you get +4 if it's blocked. So that is a good. That is a good move to use on. That is a good move to end up starting to get your offense started or whatever. So I do like 4K, but although its range is not necessarily its range is not necessarily like the greatest, like 1.65 meters, which is a little kind of average, but it's still a good move if it gets blocked, or it's decent if it hits the opponent, whether. You can also try 3KK, even though it is a bit unsafe, but I like it that it does have a transition into Flamingo, but as you can see, it is a little unsafe on blocks, so you can be careful. A couple other things you can try, which are, well, a bit safer, is something like, as you can see right here, 6KP is -3 on block, although the second hit is a high. So right here is a good advancing move, and you can also use her. You can also use her her PPP into forward slide, which leaves her at +2. So those are some other options. But in general, you don't really want to be playing at range with. You don't want to be playing at range with Sarah. Generally, what you want to be doing is just pushing buttons. But yeah, just get in your opponent's face as much as you can. Alright, with regards to Sarah's close range pokes, She does possess something that is really nice to have in Dead or Alive 5 last round is her 10 frame jab, as you can see right there, is +1 on guard. So what that means is that a subsequent jab would end up being 9 frames. Her 11 frame elbow would end up being 10 frames, and her 2P would be 11 frames. So you jab someone on block and you can basically just do whatever you want all over again. Her elbow is safe on block at only at -11. It does have follow-ups like 6 PP. But the 6 PP, and as you can see right there, it's the second hit is a track-in high punch, so you can use 6 PP against step and it's still safe. It does have a kick follow-up too, which causes a knockdown, but as you can see right there, it's massively unsafe at -18. But yeah, it does cause a knockdown or wall slam or whatever, but I don't really recommend that move too much. Just either 6P or 6 PP is usually fine. And it does, I think I said earlier, you can transition to forward slide too, which is nice. 6PK can also do that. See, 6PK is kind of funny. It's like, it's even launch it. Yeah, you can almost do a game to see how many times you can hit that move on an opponent. Yeah, it both can feel gimmicky, but it's also a pretty legit string 6KP. Her 2P is pretty. Her 2P is pretty standard. It's -5 at block and it's 0 on hit. But when you have an 11 frame when you have an 11 frame 6P, a 0 on hit 12 frame 2P is perfectly fine. Like if this was +1 like a Kira's, it would be absolutely ridiculous. And yeah, you still have your you also have a 9 frame high that I end up pointing out. It's only -1 on block too, which is really good. So I mean, like, so Sarah in general is a very safe character. So similar to Pi, they're both very fast and very safe. So once she gets like her offense going, then she's like really dangerous. It's another frame advantage move right there, 3PK. Although both attacks are high, but it does have tracking capability, which is nice. But yeah, that can be a fairly abusable move for entering Flamingo Stance too. I mean, if you want something other than just doing 4K. Why not? Well, man, I'll just go over the rest of Sarah's frame advantage moves. But holy crap, she has a shit ton of frame advantage moves. I'll just show you this move right now, which I kind of showed earlier. Her P+K is like a pretty godlike move. Like this move, let's see right here. It tech jumps, it tracks, and it parries mids, and to top it all off, it's +1 on block and leads into her Flamingo. So I mean, like, P+K is one of Sarah's best friends. So with this move, anytime you think your opponent's going to do a mid or anything and you want to get your offense going and you anticipate a mid, when in doubt, just P+K. Funny thing also with Sarah is that when she goes into her Flamingo stance, she'll just stay in that stance forever. You can also do forward to like creep up if you like do it over here or something, and you can use it to get in. But look at that, she's just gonna stay like that forever. And just there's some other properties for this move. Let me just get her in the middle. Some other properties with this move is, see right here, it is +5 on hit. If it's on counter hit, then you can get a pretty good stun there at +25, and if you want your feint stun, there's always your friend 3K. So yeah, P+K is really nice. Alright, for other frame advantage moves, there's a move I tend to chuck out a fair bit, is her 8K. So it doesn't track, but it does leave her at +2, and it's a decent way to enter into her Flamingo. And you're probably noticing a mild trend though, that the vast majority of her moves, like the vast majority of moves that lead to frame advantage are moves that lead into her Flamingo Stance. So there's 8K. It's similar to her. It's similar to her her 4K, although it is a tech jump move, and despite how it looks, it hits mid. So yeah, so it and to show it gives you a juicy stun on. It gives you a juicy stun on normal hit, like a wall slam to the right of the wall, but right here you get plus 43 or plus 44 based on stance, so that's a crap ton of frame advantage from that. So yeah, 8K is a nice move right there. Alright, another frame advantage you can use from the Flamingo Stance is her 1KK. This move usually is used to shake up the opponent, but as you saw earlier, if it ends up getting blocked or hit, you end up being at frame advantage. So 1KK is nice though. It's like, I mean, because with Flamingos, when you're in Flamingo Stance, it's expected that your opponent's just going to be standing there blocking, hopefully, because they're not going to, unless they have a death wish, they're not going to dare try and interrupt you when you enter into Flamingo Stance, unless they know that you entered into Flamingo Stance with something that leaves you at negative like 3KK. So yeah, you can. That's part of the reason why you can shake them up with like lows or whatever like pretty easily. So yeah, so 1KK being frame advantage on block, nice. So it almost kind of feels like a mini vortex or something, like vortex on the opponent's block or something like that. So it's a nice frame trap. Another interesting move that looks like her P+K is her 4 P+K. You see this move right here? This is looks like a double kick. Goes into Flamingo and leaves you at +3. So on a normal hit, it gives you a juicy +41 lift stun. So this move, whether it hits or is blocked, I mean, it's like pretty much no consequence for it. It's not necessarily the fastest move, but similar to like P+K. I mean, they're both really good. They're both really good moves. So I mean, but yeah, under most circumstances, though, if this move hits, you can then if the opponent doesn't do a quick mid kick hold or doesn't mid kick hold right away, then you can get in your 3K and just go for your launch there with 2 P+KK. Here's a little interesting move that Sarah has here, 3-3 H+KK. Probably one of the few guard break moves that she has. As you can see right there, it's a track-in mid-kick that is +4 on block, which is nice. But the neat thing is you can also transition into Flamingo. It leaves you at slight negative, but if the opponent's expecting the guard break, then you might be able to catch them freeze up. And then you can try and use, now here, another frame advantage move, which is really freaking good. It's just simply Flamingo K. So after you do any moves such as that, they go into Flamingo. And if you can catch an opponent off guard, you can end up doing this. So if you do use one of her moves that is legit frame advantage, that goes into Flamingo, then this K right here is basically get your little infinite frame trap going. So basically, no buttons for the opponent. What they're going to probably do most likely is either going to try and sidestep you or 2P you. So in that case, she's got this. Pretty nifty, huh? After the opponent blocks something that goes into Flamingo, just end up pressing P+K, and you can just keep parrying lows, and of course Sarah can sustain Flamingo anyway. But I mean, yeah, this looks pretty trollish. I mean, the VF characters don't have formal taunts, so you have to get a little creative. But Jackie, I usually use his backslide shuffle and end up getting a little come on. With Sarah, you get this little like dancing thing right here. So yeah, that's how you deal with 2P. So Yeah, if you are doing K, then to try and frame it, yes, they're gonna try and 2P you. So got your low parry. Alright, another frame advantage move for Sarah is also a guard break. Her 6P plus K 3PK. This move right here looks really similar to the guard break off of 3 H plus K, but as you can see right here, this one grants even more advantage. I mean, at a wall it can be pretty scary because if it does hit, like both these moves can get pretty big wall slams. So you can use moves like that to pressure an opponent at the wall really well. But yeah, with I mean, with the +9 guard break, you can't quite get anything guaranteed from it. But I mean, yeah, that is still a commanding amount of an advantage over your opponent. And now we're going to end up looking at arguably Sarah's most dangerous guard break, her backslide H plus K. This one right here, as you see, grants a colossal amount of frame advantage. And with +17, like now at this frame advantage, Sarah can get guaranteed follow-ups. Like 6P right there gives you +27, but similar to the 6P 3PK and 3 H plus KK, those like big swinging mid kicks or tracking mid kicks. This one is also really dangerous if the opponent has their back to a wall. Although it's slower and it's more telegraphed because you have to go into backslide first, which requires you to go into forward slide and backslide before you do it. But if you do have the opponent kind of locked down and kind of and respecting your frames and your advantage, probably because they're tired of getting counter hit with this crap all day or something like that, then you can try and sneak this in. And with this, you can at a wall you can get a guaranteed wall slam with your K. So yeah, if you have the opponent at the wall and if they're tired of getting counter hit and they're blocking, then take your free wall slam. Actually, we're gonna look at Sarah's most dangerous guard break right now. That's right, the ass to the face, the big booty bump right there. All right, as you can see right there, her forward slide H plus K or 6P plus K H plus K leads to her big ass attack. One thing to take note of this compared to other ones like Tina's or Mary Rose's big ass attack, Sarah's is not a mid. It's a high attack, so it is crouchable. Like for instance, if the opponent is crouching, they can duck under her ass and get a front row seat of it. So you have to be careful that yes, this guard break is highly telegraphed and honestly almost feels trollish at times. But if you do manage to get an opponent to block this, which is quite possible if they're not paying attention or if you get them to if they're like frozen. But yeah, if you do get them to block the ass, then you get +6 plus back turn. So yeah, but be careful with Sarah's ass, okay? Before I go on, I might as well just show you one other unique attack that Sarah has. If she has her back facing her opponent and her front facing the wall, then she does have the ability to jump off, and then she can get off a mid kick, which leads to a +5 guard break. So you can use that to try and surprise opponents with. If I'm not mistaken, majority, if not all, the VF characters have at least one wall jumping move. So this is that's Sarah's. All right, we're going to be taking a look at Sarah's crush moves now, such as low crush, high crushes, and the like. Alright, I already showed you her P plus K, and I don't really need to keep reiterating how friggin' good that move is. But yes, this move beats out Sabaki mid attacks, and it goes into her and it goes into her Flamingo Stance at I think +1 frame advantage. So yes, that move is really good, and then yeah, it's a jump in attack, so it avoids lows. But usually a nice go-to low crush for Sarah is her that like beats out low wicket kicks, low sweeps well, is her 8 H+K. Like on you can like get a small juggle off it too if you want with like 6 PK or something like that. So yeah, this is a nice low crush. You also have you also can use this move as a launcher also, and a low crush is her 9K. So yeah, there's another one. As for high crushes, you have like 2 H+K, and got this move from her bro, from Jackie, her 3 H+K, similar tracking low sweep, so right there. And of course, best high crush ever, good old 2P. And if you want to be obnoxious, even though honestly a big chunk of Sarah's move list is actually quite frankly pretty obnoxious, so you can end up just whacking them with 7K if you think they're going to like 2P or something like that. It's a 14 frame mid kick that's like a -27 or some ridiculous amount on block. But yeah, this move, another move that you got from her bro, from Jackie. Good old #7K. One pretty crazy high crush move that Sarah does have is her 3 P+K. So you can see right there, it gives a +37 lift stun on normal hit, and on counter hit it launches. Like, you know how characters like Ayane have like her 4P, and like Kasumi has like 3-3P, Sarah has 3 P+K. So anytime an opponent's mashing highs on you, you can end up blowing them up with that. You can end up blowing that for a pretty nice launch. Anyways, we're gonna be taking a look at Sarah's throw game right now. In terms of throws, her throws are actually kind of pretty kind of average, like standard. Like, I'll just show you her throws right now. Like, here's her 5 frame throw, 7 frame throw, got another 7 frame throw that changes from. That's all just T, 6T, 4T, for 10 frames, 6T, and her 12 frame half circle forward throw. So that's actually, her throws are pretty standard. Like right there, that's 58 damage on a normal throw, which would be like 87 on a high counter, so that is pretty below average. What's actually more interesting are her hit throws, like ones that come off of strikes. Like right there is forward slide 2KKT. That one there gives you 60 damage. Let me see without wall slamming. You probably know what I'm gonna do. Right there, you get 67 damage for Flamingo 2KT. There's another one from Flamingo which actually comes off of a mid, 3 H+KT, and you get a juicy 71 damage for that off of a mid strike. As you can see, the move is kind of slow, so, and it looks similar to that one, but yeah, that's still good damage for a hit throw. And also off of her slide shuffle, I showed you she has 2 offensive holds off of this, and her shuffle step half circle forward. I mean, yeah, like I showed you like earlier, if you end up hitting that at match, you're like a complete badass god, Sarah god, I think. Well, alright, well, not necessarily a god, because Sarah is actually a really crazy character. But in terms of throws, her standard throws are not really that special, but it's her hit throws that actually make her throw game more interesting. And the fact that she has a couple offensive holds is actually kind of ridiculous. But it still comes out of but you still have to go through like 2 stances to get to the shuffle where you can end up making use of them anyway. Alright, now we're going to be taking a look at Sarah's hold game. Similar to her throw game, her hold game, or like most VF characters in general, her hold game isn't really that remarkable. Like, she just gets some pretty like standard damage. Like if I just show you like one for instance. There, like you see, she gets fairly average damage off of her holds. Like, like, well, 48 damage on. Well, that was counter hold, so you get a bit more. So I mean, in general, her holds, they just do kind of average damage, and majority of them do keep the opponent there. Although there is, I think, one exception, if I remember correctly. Like, her low punch hold can knock the opponent away, but still her holds do pretty weak damage, and they're not really that remarkable. But I will also keep note that she does have the ability to sabaki moves, like with like P+K, or with her backslide shuffle. I think also can sabaki some moves, so that those are a couple of handy things to have, and also the offensive holds I just mentioned earlier. Alright, we're just going to be looking at Sarah in front of a wall right now. Alright, I will let you know that Sarah does have a sit-down stun that she can get out of her Flamingo Stance that grants her a guaranteed launcher. Like I'll show you, it's Flamingo 4K, so if you were to do something like this. See right there, you can get off like a small like wall combo also, so it is a really dangerous sit-down stun. I mean, which just further augments her dangerous Flamingo game. I mean, so right there's another dangerous mid for the opponent to have to watch out for. As for wall slam with Sarah, some moves that I do recommend wall slam with can be her user 66K, 3KK, 6BK, 6KK. I know a lot of those are mid kicks. On counter hit, you can also use her K, you can use her critical burst, so like a bunch of them. But if you do wall slam an opponent, then a combo you can do is 3PK, then from Flamingo 6KK. Alright, I'm just going to show you a critical burst combo sample right now. Alright, in that combo after the critical burst with quarter circle P+K, it's just 3PK, P, then 66 H+K. Alright, and lastly, we're just going to take a look at some Sarah's force tech attacks. The most common one you'll use is her 3H+K. Some other ones you can use and can include 6H+K. You can also use Flamingo 2H+K. And if I'm not mistaken, you can also use her forward slide into 2K. So those are a few. But anyways, that is it for now. So yeah, thank you for joining me on this. This nice little Sarah Bryant journey. I'll also let you know that despite how obnoxious some of her tools and moveset is, she actually is a pretty complex character. So I guess it's something that's kind of something I'll say is kind of similar that she has to Christy, is that they both have a lot of tools and a lot of options you have to know. But while you're learning them, you can just simply narrow some things down to like a few tools. Like with Sarah, I'll just let you know certain things like her like 6P or 6BK or like 4K, like moves like those are, and like 8 H+K or like P+K. All these are all like really good moves to like that you can base your offense around. Even like 3PK is also a pretty good move too, besides both being highs. But yeah. Anyways, things to practice with Sarah is just, wow, it's just basically just getting used to and familiar with her different stances, the Flamingo, the forward slide, the back slide, which comes off forward slide, and this one also the shuffle step move. So yeah, and just simply getting used to her combo. So I mean, if you don't mind a little pain, you can just kind of grind through her combo challenge, just to get used to like different kind of combinations of different ways of how her like combos flow and stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, have fun frame trapping opponents with all her great moves that lead into Flamingo. But if you have any other questions about anything else related to this guide or anything related to just DOA in general, feel free to contact Force of Nature on freestepdodge.com. You can also contact me on my YouTube, Twitter, or Twitch. And be sure to check out my other character guides or tutorials just to get a nice little well-rounded look at the cast for this awesome game that is Dead or Alive 5 Last Round. And yeah, that's it. So this is Force of Nature signing off. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you next time on Top Tier Tips.